Jess here from Food Yourself. So I've always been fascinated by digestive troubles. When I was a brand new dietitian, I read everything I could on how diet can help manage constipation and diarrhea, the pain of irritable bowel syndrome, and the heartburn that comes along with acid reflux. But not once did we talk about bloating, and it took me years in my practice to finally understand what exactly bloating is and how to manage that bloating. So my favorite go-to herbs when it comes to banishing the bloat are always peppermint and ginger. But recently I really wanted to dig deeper into the science behind these herbs. So who better than to ask than my all-time favorite herbalist and really good friend, Emily. So let's meet Emily.
Thanks, Jess. Yeah, like she said, my name is Emily. I am a medical herbalist and I run a business called Bahutakawa Health where I see clients one-on-one and I also run workshops and do courses and things like that. So what is a herbalist? And lots of people really have this question. A herbalist is basically somebody who uses plants for medicine. But there is like a wide range in differences in training and differences in sort of like capabilities. So I have a bachelor degree in natural medicine, which I got from New Zealand, and I'm clinically trained. So that means that I am confident seeing people face to face and helping them with their health issues. And I also really have a strong belief that I have to manage my scope of practice really well, which means that if people are unwell in a way that is outside of my specialty, I send them to a medical practitioner. So that's really, really important to me. So one thing that I say to people when they want to look for a herbalist is to see if they are registered with a professional body, because herbalism isn't regulated in North America. So being a member of a professional body means that they are held accountable by somebody. It means they have continuing education that they have to keep up with. It means they have a code of ethics, all that kind of stuff, which is really, really important. Um, Homeopathy and naturopathy or naturopathy are different. So homeopathy is like its own separate modality, which is based on the idea that like cures like, and they use very, very minute doses of things, which could be plants, but also could be like minerals as well. And yeah, it's quite different altogether. They're a whole sort of separate body. There's a lot of criticism of homeopathy. I always am like, I'll reserve judgment until, I need to,
Right.
but I don't use homeopathy in my own practice. And naturopaths or naturopathic doctors in North America are kind of more like a wider range practitioner. So they can be like a primary care practitioner for people. They usually use bits of things like homeopathy. They might use herbal medicine. They'll often use like nutrition and supplementation as well. So they just have like kind of a broader range, and they are a regulated practitioner in Canada.
Amazing. That's super helpful because I know those questions come up all the time and there's so many different health practitioners out there that I just feel like it's so amazing to like actually talk about the difference and when you should see one versus the other. So amazing.
Totally.
So as you know, in my practice, I work with a lot of people who have troubled tummies, whether it's, bloating or spasms or pain. So my go-to two herbs are always peppermint and ginger. But I know that there's going to be so many other herbs out there that I probably should add to my little repertoire of herbs. So please tell us what other herbs we should add when you have tummy troubles.
Yeah, I see lots of people with gut health issues as well, and there are so many beautiful herbs for digestive issues. So peppermint and ginger are definitely excellent, excellent mainstays. One of my other favorite ones that most people will be familiar with is chamomile. Chamomile is what we call a carminative. So it helps to relax the smooth muscle in the digestive tract. So it helps to alleviate bloating and spasms. But the other beautiful thing about chamomile is that it supports the nervous system, right? We all think about cup of chamomile tea to like help us relax or help us sleep. So if you think about that gut-brain connection, which we know and we're learning so much more about, chamomile is a beautiful herb for that. So another just like really nice, like after dinner kind of cup of tea, and particularly for folks who notice their digestive problems are worse when they're stressed. So I love using chamomile that way.
Love it.
The other thing that I love to use for digestive issues is bitters. So any kind of food or herb that has a bitter taste has a really strong action on our digestive system and helps to sort of like stimulate and support regular digestion. So before a meal, having something bitter is really, really beneficial. And this goes back a long ways to like having an aperitif before a meal, right? Like in France, you would have a fancy little shot of some kind of bitter drink before your meal. And that's so that it can like help to get your body ready to digest food. So I often use things like dandelion root, which you can get in like a tea or sort of like a coffee drink, or globe artichoke is my favorite one. Like everybody knows like the beautiful artichokes that you would eat.
Right.
And when those flower, you can dry them and use them as a herb, and they are very, very, very bitter. And they are so, so good for helping to stimulate and support digestive function. And actually fat digestion as well. They really help with that because they help support and stimulate bile production.
Fascinating. So thank you. And tell us, is there anything else we need to know about herbs?
I think that the main thing I want people to know is that herbs don't need to feel foreign or confusing or complicated. We all use herbs every day, whether we kind of want to admit it or not. You know, like I always say, everybody who has had a cup of coffee or a cup of tea this morning has had a hot water extraction of a certain kind of plant and has felt the effects of the plant chemical caffeine, right? It's something we all do and we're all really familiar with. And so, yeah, it doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to feel really weird and foreign. It's important to do your homework and to have like trusted advisors on that kind of thing. But it is something that we should all access and use every day because it can really, really make a huge difference for our health.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you, Emily.
Well, I hope you love Emily as much as I do. And Emily also interviewed me for her YouTube channel, and I'll put the link to that in the description below. Otherwise, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.